right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Welcome to Almost to Oregon, where we're gonna be on the Oregon Trail, sort of. Except we already did that part. Um, Surprisingly, we made it to Oregon, and now we're gonna finish making our characters. But first, let's say hi to everybody who is joining me. So we're gonna go around, starting with above my head, Estaney. Say hi and
Hi.
what's up?
Hello. Um, Happy to be here.
Good.
no, I've had a long day of not being entirely with it, so that's going to be what you get today. Long Hearthstone stream of me basically throwing my face against the Lich King over and over and over and over. I still have not beat him, even with Jade Druid. I just started, and
Try priest.
Wow.
I started with priest, and I'm like, I can't. I
Oh.
gotta try other things. I've tried every hero just to see what sort of bullshit he pulls against you.
Oh man, I don't think I've beat it as every class, but I'm pretty sure that I've beat it as at least one class.
I had just finished crafting some cards. I actually, Lavender, I chucked some of my golds in there. I feel so sad. It's so sad.
It's
But I know I'll get them back. But anyway, so that's been my day, and now I'm excited to play some Oregon Trail stuff. Except we're in Oregon, so I'm curious what that means.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Well, let's bring us around then to Lavender. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. Um, Hi, I'm Dark Lavender Void. That's what you can find me on the internet as on Twitch and Twitter and many other places. I am I am appreciating and taking advantage of this break we are having from our actual play Mortally Bankrupt stream because I am making some little refinements to the rules and actually adding like example text sections to the chat game.
Whoa.
That's good. Yeah.
I was actually just thinking about how I already missed that game. It's only been a week without it, so
Same here.
um yeah, yeah, I'm it's going to be a few more weeks before we get back to it too. So I just got to stew on what changes you're making. So
Yep.
I'm
Uh,
excited.
it's, it's nothing gigantic. You should probably be fine.
Okay, good, good. All right. Saris, how are you doing today? Thank
I'm
you for
hanging in
joining
there.
us.
I worked.
Yeah.
Worked 8 hours long. It's a day job.
Yep. Yep.
Pays the rent. I went to dinner with my husband.
That's a good one.
It's a good one, yeah.
That's a
And
good one.
the deadline I've been hauling ass on all week got extended. So,
Oof, nice.
yeah. I mean, I was ready to be done on time and like paced myself out all week only to have my co-author be like, "Oh, I need more time." And then I was like, "Well, I guess I wouldn't say no to another week." I mean, I'm done. I don't know where you've been this whole time, but so yeah, that was a pleasant surprise this afternoon.
That's good.
I
That's good.
gave myself the evening off.
Nice.
And I took a nap that lasted too long and then went out to dinner. That was
I mean, I love naps. So
naps are fantastic. It's not a complaint. I just intended to nap for 20 to 30 minutes and nap for an hour and a half.
yeah.
Yeah. Clearly I needed it.
Clearly.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us finally over to Golden. You.
Hey, I'm Golden.
Yeah.
You can find me at work or in bed. And for a
Which is
limited
this?
time on the stream,
Oh, okay.
a limited time only, unfortunately. Heck, I'm gonna be working Saturday now.
Oh, jeez.
So
How many hours are they making you put in these days?
so actually it's mostly voluntary. This is like the first full-time job ever had due to my disability. So I have a lot of bills I want to pay,
Yeah.
and
all do,
debts
man,
I
we all
want to
do.
repay. So I am kind of working myself over that. But I also really want to do this. So I'm sorry, double pay overtime, but we are going to do some RPGs tonight.
Yes.
All right. So last time you guys actually made it to Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
We did.
which was like, how did you make it? And how did you make it with so much time left? Well, the answer to that was you did not. I just lost count. So the good news is you legitimately made it to Oregon. So I don't have to redo my math. You only have a 5% chance of making it to Oregon. And if Kelsa hadn't made that roll, that was a success. You would not have made it to Oregon. That's how close you guys came.
Well, that's good.
But the good news for the GM is that means you guys have just barely made it, which means I can have the snowfall and everybody else that still hasn't made it to Oregon and make you guys go through the harrowing last gathering everyone to Oregon City. So it'll be more interesting than it's the middle of July. I sure feel like I'm in a hurry to get to Oregon. Maybe we'll just stop by this river and dip our toes in and play with the giant catfish.
Uh-huh.
I've always wanted to vacation and swim with a giant catfish.
I know, right? Oh, and the giant crayfish, which are even more exciting.
That's horrifying.
I mean, if you ever like read the stories of what the West was like before, the European man came and ruined everything, the animals were supposedly humongous. So,
I believe it.
I mean, geez, like, how big did the crayfish get? Too big is the answer.
I mean, they were just They were just freshwater lobsters at that point, right?
You think they were only as big as lobsters?
Well, don't lobsters?
Lobsters can get huge.
Yeah, aren't lobsters like basically immortal and just keep getting bigger and are only small because they're confined by their environment? And like after a while, its caloric intake becomes impossible, so it doesn't just keep. Like, we don't have kaiju lobsters because nature can't support that.
It can't.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
No. All right, so I'm going to try and help you guys finish off your characters.
Conservation of mass. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, that thing.
There's a point at which a thing becomes so big it can't sustain itself, which is why giant monsters aren't real.
Yes.
Sorry,
They aren't
science ruins
real.
everything.
It really does ruin everything.
Yeah.
My pop filter just broke, so
Oh, no.
it's okay. I'm getting a new
No.
one tomorrow, but
Oh, okay, well,
I'm
less of a
gonna-
no-no then.
I'm just gonna talk in the side of my microphone and let me know if I need to turn myself up. 'Cause yeah, it just came off.
That's not supposed to happen.
Well, it was already broken. It's just now more broken, so that's why
Nice.
I'm getting a new one. So yeah, just let me know if it sounds terrible. I'll fix it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start off by finishing your characters.
I like it.
You already got your 4 aspects, which is good. I was excited by everybody's picks for their character. So wasteful.
That sounded like a good trouble to me.
Needs glasses. A bookie with actual books.
Yeah, not a person who takes bets.
Doesn't kill humans.
Yeah, that's the worst flaw I could think of, really.
I know, right? We gotta get you guys some skills, though. So the way I'm gonna do this is, I actually went back and I watched what every square you guys landed on. I'm gonna deal you 3 cards. depending on what square that was. So if the first square is, everybody started off at Independence, Missouri. So you'll get your choice of these aren't the right ones. You'll get your choice of points cards. All right, and watch as I totally don't do anything right.
I'm sure it'd be fine.
It's okay. I'm not streaming that part yet, so they can't see you messing everything
They
up.
can't see me messing everything up.
No.
I thought that's what Twitch was all about.
All right, you're right. Let me switch over so they can see you messing everything up.
Show the audience him dropping everything.
How
Yeah.
else are they gonna like heckle him in chat, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the only reason people watch Twitch.
I mean, that's the only reason why I watch Twitch.
I've been playing some war games on Tabletop Simulator since you guys kind of turned me onto it. And I'm delighted by the fact that it is the only video game I have where I can literally drop things like I do in real life.
Yes. Have you flipped a table yet?
I have by accident.
That's the
Just
best
like
way.
real life.
Right, yeah. If only a cat could interrupt my session and knock all the terrain off the board, that would be perfect.
Fantastic.
I wonder if there's a mod for that.
Yeah, creators of Tabletop Sim or the Steam modding community, please mod cat interference. Random
Yes.
cat interference.
Yes.
It has to be random. You can't predict when it's coming.
So, like,
Absolutely.
would a cat land on a table, or would this gigantic paw just swing out of nowhere?
In my experience, it's generally it hops up onto the table and then knocks everything off as it
See.
walks across.
Yes. Exactly
See.
that.
Yes.
My cat also likes to just lay down in the middle of a game board.
Oh, especially if it's a card game.
Oh man.
Flump. Right on the discard pile.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or if they are like like a bunch of meticulous pieces, just like knocking them everywhere as they just put their feet where the pieces used to be lined up.
Yep. We like to play are you guys familiar with a game called BattleCon?
No.
It's a board game that's a fighting game.
Ooh.
But like all the
Cool.
characters are on little standees. Like your little choose your fighter is like a little standee and it moves back and forth on a board, so it plays like a 2D fighter like this way.
Oh, that's really cute.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you like move past each other and you have a hand of cards and then like timing. There's no randomization, so like your like fireball, your Hadoken or whatever is based on the timing on the card.
Okay.
So whoever's timing is faster goes first, and then you can like knock people out of their super moves and stuff if your move is faster than theirs. It's actually a lot of fun.
That sounds
Sounds
awesome.
fun.
And it has a giant roster of characters. And there's actually a online version of the game, which is literally like Hearthstone, where it is a digital version of the board game.
Nice.
But like, so we like to play that on our little gaming table, and then the cat loves to get up and then knock the standee over.
Oh.
And I'm like, stop! No, that positioning matters. Get away from there.
Fantastic.
KO.
KO.
Flawless
indeed.
victory.
Victory goes to the cat.
I'm trying to remember the last
As it always
time
does.
my cat did something like particularly destructive to a board game. But all I'm thinking about is my dog, because we were putting together Clank in Space.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
And
one.
one of the cubes fell on the ground and the dog chewed it up.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And so my blue cubes are 1 cube short.
You can just put it back in the bag.
No, it was like in multiple pieces. It wasn't just like 2
Oh,
marks. It was.
I thought it'd be like awesome.
It was in like 3
The
pieces.
special cube.
It was in like 3 pieces.
Oh, that's not good.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
That sucks.
So, but that wasn't the cat's fault somehow.
Somehow.
Blame the cat for knocking it onto the floor in the first place.
I should blame the cat for that.
So, really, it was the cat's fault.
Totally was the cat's fault.
All right. So we're playing this game. Are we ready to do that?
Yeah, let's finish your characters.
This has been other game chat.
Other game chat.
Very important.
Now back
okay.
to our regularly scheduled game.
And now back to our show.
So I'm super lazy. So all I did was, I'm gonna like. Apparently, there's no infinite card draw mode in
Okay.
Tabletop Sim, so I have to just duplicate the cards over and over again. But okay, that's fine. So I just put them over here. You guys are on top of the laptop, which I'm using as a table, like I do in real life. And so basically, you guys have 3 choices each place you land. It depends on basically where you landed, whether or not it was a fort, a river, a plains, or a mountain. You get different skills. And you'll each have 3 choices, and you pick 1 skill from these. All right, so we'll go through them a little bit slower the first time. After that, I'll just deal them out, and you guys can just pick one, and it should go a little bit faster. So, Estani, you get to pick from ambush, grow, and hide. The icon in the middle is the plains, because you all started on the plains. And then you'll see that there's like little things I drew on them. So there's only 2 combinations. There's one with the down arrow and the X. And that means it's an active skill. You can use that to impose your will on the world or to resist somebody else imposing their will on the world. With grow, this is a narrative skill. So you can use it to add details to the scene. You can make declarations. Who knows what those are in Fate? Basically, you say a thing and it becomes true.
Okay.
You can also use it to attach an aspect which prevents something else from happening until this aspect is removed. So it's basically a way of permanently blocking something theoretically. So like for grow, you could like use it to create a farm field, or maybe you sought the lands of your enemies and they can't grow anything until they remove the salt.
Okay.
And ambushes also works the same way as grow, because obviously you either want to declare you're ambushing somebody or prevent them from running away.
Okay.
So you would pick one of these skills.
Ambush.
Good call.
Of course. Good call.
I'm not even surprised.
And I'm having really hard trouble. I think it's because of the laptop. Geez, technology. Who would have guessed?
Oh, yeah, that I was having issues with that too, where I couldn't like move my camera around because I clicked on it.
So, Sarah, you get to pick from speed,
Okay.
map,
Did you say,
or ambush.
did you say math or map?
Map.
Map, okay. What does map do? Is that
It lets you
do I navigate?
it lets you navigate places.
Okay.
What it's really about is telling me what's on the map or what's not on the map.
Okay.
This is like the cartography skill of this game.
Okay.
It's a narrative one, so basically instead of you asking the GM what's on the map, you tell the GM what's on the map.
Okay. Well, I did say that I was trying to play lesbian farmer, so I think I have to get with grow.
Well, you don't get grow. You have to pick from these 3.
I thought you said speed. Right. Ambush is the other one.
Yes.
I crossed lines in my brain between what you told her and map, speed, and what was the
Ambush.
third? Ambush. Okay. What's speed?
You look up here.
Where is
Speed lets you do things by moving fast.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
So whenever speed would be the determining factor of whether or not you succeed or not, you could roll speed.
Gotcha. I think I will map.
All right. Well, go ahead and put the ones you pick on your character sheet, which is way down here somewhere.
Okay, there we go.
And then I'm going to delete everything on the laptop eventually. And then we'll flick up Kelsa's. You get speed, hide, or grow. You're muted, Kelsa.
Oh, hey, I'm muted. Thank you. Because I was typing with the keyboard. For Fiddlesticks, I think I definitely need hide.
All right. And that's an active skill. And Dark Lavender Void. You get either fight, map, or grow.
Not fight. Um, I am so interested in map. What skills have the other people taken?
Looks like they've taken ambush.
I took
Where
hide.
did ambush, hide, and grow?
No,
No.
Map.
map.
Oh, ambush, hide, and map.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna take grow.
Okay. Go ahead and take that, put in your character sheet.
If I can get Tabletop Simulator to stop being evil.
Nah, it's a computer program.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening, really.
Maybe you should turn it off and turn it back on again.
Like
Did you just
that ever
delete
works.
everything except that one card?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. The next place, everybody landed on a river because they had to, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yes, they did.
Don't ask, you said there was going to be no homework. There's no test.
There
I
is
don't remember.
no homework. But you can use deduction to figure it out.
It was probably a river. I don't know.
All right, let's randomize this just a bit. All right. So Stanley, you can pick from Tempo, Sense, and Pilot.
Ooh.
Ceres, you get to pick from Lead, Pilot, and Medicine. Also, you get to pick from Conviction, Medicine, and Tempo. Dark Lavender Void, you get to pick from Tempo, Sense, and Medicine.
Can you tell me
What
what
is-
tempo?
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
Tempo is when the timing matters. So think of it like speed, but like
On a bigger
instead
scale?
of when you're, it's like imagine a sword falls between you and an opponent. It's not which one of you is the fastest necessarily, but which one of you gets to it first, or which one of you has the fastest reaction. Or imagine that there's a pendulum swinging back and forth across the hallway. It doesn't matter how fast you go. If you don't have your timing right, you're still going to get chopped up.
Can you explain to me what sense would be?
Sense is not an active skill. So basically, you get to declare what you sense or how what you sense will help others succeed or fail.
Okay, I'm going to go with pilot.
How
All
about
right.
conviction?
Conviction is, again, it's a declaration skill.
Mhm.
So you get to say things you believe and then use your beliefs to help or hinder others.
What does a cat believe?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That they should knock everything off the table.
No, I think it's going to be tempo.
I think that
All
makes sense
right.
for a cat.
Yeah, that does make sense for a cat.
Medicine is how you heal. And there's a lot of healing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Basically,
I,
any physical damage you take can be recovered with medicine, even if it's not like illness or injury.
Mm-hmm.
I assume pilot is the make things go skill.
Yep, you make anything go. You make boats go. You can also make, that's what you use to drive a wagon or ride a horse
Okay.
or fly
like-
an airship.
Or giant spider mech, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, giant
You know,
spider
yes.
mech. You can use
You know.
pilot.
But making things go.
Yeah,
But,
making things go.
I think I'm going to grab lead because I'm sort of a
Alright.
bossy pants in real life, and this will ultimately happen anyway.
It is inevitable.
Oh, I totally have sense, not medicine. Okay.
Oh, went in my hand.
Well, you
Okay.
can put in your hand too. That's fine.
That's what
It's like
I've
that's
been doing.
what people are
Oh.
doing.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that too now.
All right.
The hand is
That makes
actually
sense.
useful in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been doing it so I don't have to like zoom back to my character sheet and back up again.
Yeah,
That's a good
That's
idea.
smart.
that's really smart. I'm gonna turn my hand back on.
I've been turning it
Just what
on
we're
to
very
put
clever
stuff
on.
in it and then turning it off
All
again so
right.
it just wasn't in the
That's
way.
also really smart. Kelsa, why are you so smart?
I try.
All right. So next one, Kelsa, you went to a river. And everyone else went to a fort. Last a mountain.
Wait, don't you have to go to a fort?
No.
It's a Fordora River.
I'm confused. I don't know where we are.
Or maybe Kelsa didn't advance that time. I'm not sure.
But then wouldn't I have been on planes still?
No, because everybody was on a river.
Then why did we do planes last time?
We did river just now.
We did river first because we started on Independence.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't move. That was why. Okay.
Then
that makes
everybody
sense.
had to go to a river, and then everyone has to go to the fort. So the only reason you'd still have river is you didn't move
Gotcha.
the previous turn.
So, is there any benefit to taking the same skill twice, or is tempo just basically a dead card for me right now?
There's not really any benefit, but you could totally you can only going to have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 skills, and there are 28. So you can choose to double up.
But if there's no benefit in doing so, why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
If there's no benefit, I'm not going to do it. So between lead and medicine, I think definitely lead.
Okay.
I grabbed research because obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about prove, because I think I've got the gist of empathize, because I know words. But what is the difference between research and prove? Because I feel like they might overlap.
Prove is a social so in Fate, right? There's 3 different kinds of actions. There's physical actions, there's mental actions, and there is social actions, or these kinds of combat. Prove is a mental action. So you're arguing with somebody else, and you want to win the argument with facts and reasoning.
Okay.
And research is to declare those facts in the first place.
Yes. You couldn't actually use research to prove anything. You would just know things, and that would never win any argument, because when did facts help?
So is
right?
All jokes about the current state of our society aside, is research the no shit skill? K-N-O-W. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it
K-N-O-W,
is.
not N-O.
And notice that it is not an active skill, it's a declarative skill. So you basically just declare things to be true by spending time to research that they are.
Okay, well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally sounds like fun, so I grabbed it too.
I took empathize.
Of course you did. Oh.
Yeah. So
That suits your character.
You get to declare things about your own and other people's emotional states.
Which character did you settle on, Lavender?
I did. We might have not talked about it, but I settled on why my one matriarch character.
I think you picked Jemima.
Jemima. Yeah.
Jemima. Okay.
The one who saw God and didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You need conviction.
I know.
I do.
I hope you get it.
Me too.
Oh gosh.
All right, so Kelsa, you went to the fort next. West River. Here's the fort. Empathize, spend, or research. Then DOV, you were at the fort. Prove, sway. But I like Blaze in the Dark, even though I don't like it. And research.
Blades in the Dark is the best in the dark. Wait, what?
I mean, it's something in the dark. Ceres went to the plains.
Okay.
Grow, intimidate, or map.
Now you get
Asteni went to the plains.
Now I get
Grow, hide, or fight.
Can you tell me about spend?
So as you can see, it is a declarative skill. So you get to spend your money and just tell me what you have.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
I grabbed hide because I remember Theo actually hiding in the fort and sneaking out, so it seemed to make sense.
Nice.
I definitely feel like if a cat had a concept of money, they would spend it.
Oh yeah.
Probably frivolously. So it seems appropriate to me.
All right.
I took sway, which I assume.
I'm glad someone did.
Yeah. I'm assuming sway is the exact same that it is in Blades in the Dark, where it's using, it's like using logic and charm to sway people to your side.
It's mostly emotional manipulation.
Okay, gotcha.
Or persuasion.
So that
It's like
Same thing.
it's more charisma than logic because logic would probably be proof.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense.
Perfect.
All right, so let's
That
see
makes
here.
all my other skills really well.
Kelsa, did you just pick a planes card, right?
Hand. Oh. No, I have a fort card.
Okay. Then you get a planes card. Hide, intimidate, or fight. DLV, you get empathize, gossip, or research.
No question.
Ceres, you get speed, map, or fight. Astani, you get speed, intimidate, or fight.
Oh, it's such a hard choice.
I think between fight and intimidate, because I already have hide, I think intimidate is more my style than fight. If I can bully someone out of something,
Sure.
I do that before I'm gonna actually fight them.
I think I'm gonna grab that fight though.
I also grabbed fight.
Okay.
Giant,
You
I
never know.
mean,
giant mechanical things. I gotta make them do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna have to wrestle a freshwater lobster.
Oh, you never know. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true.
you never know. All right, Astani, you get to pick from map, hide, or grow.
Oh my goodness, so many
Ceres,
planes.
speed, intimidate, or grow.
Let's take that math skill.
Kelsa, you made it to the mountains, so you get resist, endure, or politic.
Ooh.
Political cat.
And DLV, you're in a fort, so you get gossip, network, or prove.
Oh, those are all good.
Work.
Oh, those are all so good.
I need to go to more forts.
I think can you tell me about the difference between endure and resist?
That's a little exalted first edition, mister. Very disappointed in you.
But I liked it. I liked
I liked
Exalted
it too,
First
but
Edition.
endurance and resistance as two separate skills didn't need to be a thing.
I wonder if I even did this deliberately. Hold on, let me check my notes.
Somebody's
amazing.
mic is.
I think their cell phone might be too close to their mic or something. I've heard this before.
That's probably me, actually,
Okay.
Oh,
because it's on my desk and I leaned forward.
Oh yeah, that might have been it.
I literally just
Thank
moved
you.
my cell phone as well.
It could be
To
either one of
be,
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
it's now-
both.
it's now a full arm's length. I have very long arms. It's now a full arm's length away.
You do
Good,
have
good.
very long arms. I
Yeah,
have
I'm-
like these short little T-Rex arms.
Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you can't see because I'm in a chair.
Well, I mean,
That's
even
so
if you were
tiny.
standing, we wouldn't have any context or like.
Here, let
we
me
don't know
stand
how-
up and you can see my shirt.
That is
I
a
think
cool
I
shirt.
did it because of the way that that Fate handles combat. You have different skills.
Is one
There's
like physical and one like mental?
They're both physical, but one of them tells you how long your stress track is, and one of them is armor.
Which one's which?
I would have made resist be the armor and endure be the length of your stress track.
That
Okay.
makes sense to me.
I'm gonna take endure then.
Took me a while to think why I would do that, but that's why I would do that. Like there are still the doubling up of things in Fate sometimes.
Okey-doke.
Also, Exalted First Edition throwback.
Ceres, you still need to choose a skill though.
Yeah, I do. I got distracted by.
Mhm.
I'm surprised you didn't just go right for that grow.
I have a girl already.
Do you? Did you
Yeah.
grab one? I missed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I grabbed it earlier.
Oh.
I actually think I'm gonna take speed.
All right. Everyone got theirs?
I took network. What does that do?
Is it active or is it?
It's passive.
It's
Mhm.
passive.
So it's a social combat skill. It lets you declare people that are on your side in the community that either look out for you or, they'll give you some aid in certain situations, or that you can use to attack people socially by your influence that basically already exists.
Gotcha. That's cool.
All right, let's flip them. So then, trying to think, what did you pick last, Kelsa?
Mountain.
All right,
That was my first mountain.
that's what I thought. So now you get a fort. Network, sway, or emphasize. If you get a fort, research, sway, or network. Stunning and Ceres, you both get planes. So grow, intimidate, or fight for Stunning. Speed, grow, or ambush for Ceres.
Can you tell me about empathize?
Empathize lets you declare people's emotional states or your own.
No, I'm gonna go sway.
I
Alright.
intimidate.
I have to take ambush because there's no benefit in me taking anything else out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Thing here.
I already have a speed. I already have a grow.
There you go.
All right. Come on, computer. All right, so Kelsa. Down with the fort. Dark Lavender Void
It's the
went
exact same
to
choices from last time.
the fort. Stunny, you went to a mountain.
Yeah, I'll take the build.
And Monica, you went to a mountain. Ceres, sorry. Okay.
It's cool, as I definitely am like, listen to my podcast, which I go by my human name.
I know.
Human name.
My
What?
human-
No. I don't think we have any of those. Pretty sure.
Let me find and replace all instances of your human name in my document, then I won't accidentally say it.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Excel has completed its search.
As opposed to
You-
my internet name, I guess. I don't know.
I understand.
Your cyber
completely.
god name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the name I chose for myself, right?
My robot name.
Right.
Beep,
My
boop, bop.
cultist name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah?
what is the difference between build and invent?
Yes. Build is what you use to make physical items.
Okay. And
Invent
inventions are never physical, so
invent is mostly so remember last time we had this little chart over here?
are you pointing to something I can't see?
Yeah, I'm pressing the tab button.
Oh, with your Steam Etheric Fairy.
Yes. So these are the power sources everybody gets.
Okay.
And basically with that skill,
Uh-huh.
you get to manipulate this chart. And what I use for this chart for is to determine who wins ties when different technologies go up against each other.
I see.
So maybe you want to be an inventor so that gear technology is always the best. Or maybe you want to be an inventor so that fairies are always worthless.
Okay.
So basically you invent things using the strange power
Alright.
sources.
Okay. Well, since I didn't actually have any encounters with them, I'm going to take resist.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And my character lost a leg and whatnot, so that seems to make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It is true. Okay, so that was 2 mountains last turn. So that means Kelsa went to a river. Lavender went to a river. Stenny went to a plains.
All these planes. So I have all these skills.
Yes.
Hide, map, intimidate. You already have all of them.
Yes.
You must still pick one.
I'll be extra intimidating, even though it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't really matter. It just it assumes that
Why-
you're going to put it higher on the thing.
Why include dead spots in your character design? Why do that? Why not? If you take it twice, you get a higher ranking in it.
Because you can declare whatever ranking you want, basically.
So what's the point?
There's-
that just means Esteni has less skills than the rest of us.
Yeah.
No,
she
she'll
has a
still
dead
get
spot.
she'll still get to just pick at random, or she'll actually get to pick to fill up whatever skill she still needs.
Oh, so we're just drawing, and anything that's doubles, we get to randomly collect a new one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, if you haven't end up with 14 unique skills at the end,
So there was a benefit. We could have taken them to get a wild card skill later.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I guess so.
Because that's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's.
I guess that's true.
Gotcha.
I'm still
I didn't
happy
think
with
of
my
it that
choices,
way.
I think.
I didn't think of it that way.
I've got a heck of a 3 choices since I'm finally not taking fort cards.
Pilot,
Pilot,
lead.
lead, and footwork are all so interesting to me.
Ooh. Which one feels more Jemima, though?
I'm
Yeah,
just
that's what
imagining her as a religious leader now, and my
I
brain
am.
can't go anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, that's
Kind of
true.
the same.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Mormons to meet with Jemima.
Yeah.
Oh,
gonna be
that's
pretty
gonna be great.
I know.
hmm
Yeah, I'm gonna grab that endure. If I'm gonna razz you about it, I may as well take it.
That's the right answer, I think.
There are very few games that have endure and resist, and they're all in good company. Actually, isn't that just a fate thing too? I think it really is.
I don't know offhand.
I gotta look at the fate skills.
I don't have my fate books upstairs anymore.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bookshelf to see if the Fate Core was nearby. Hey, is the Fate
Mm.
Core? Can you grab Fate Core for me?
It wouldn't have. I don't think it would have been fake core, right? Well, maybe it was. Okay, Estani, you get
I've just
forts.
been handed. I said, "Can you hand me Fate Core?" And so he handed me Dresden Files Accelerated, the Fate System Kit, Atomic Robo, and the core rules.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes. So several core systems. Let's see. Let's look at what Fate Core says.
I mean, that would have been the perfect cop-out answer. Well, it's just fate. It's not my fault.
Well, you made me curious, so now I'm gonna look.
All right. What did you pick, Estani?
I picked Prove.
Ooh.
I mean, if I'm going to do all this research, I may as well be able to use it.
Yeah.
Good choice. I took footwork.
I'm going to double up on Endure to get that wild card skill.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I really did not even think of that consequence. Really weird.
I have times like that too sometimes.
I wonder if that's a feature or a bug.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds like a feature to me.
It's a
If you're-
feature until you decide it's a bug, and then
Yeah.
release it.
All right. Lavender?
Oh, I picked lead because
No?
Estani was like,
You have new ones.
"Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, hold
All
on,
right.
Grow, ambush, and fight.
cool. I already have grow.
You could grab Grow again if nothing else fits, and then get a
Yeah,
wild
I like
card
that
later.
because I really don't like ambush or fight.
Yeah, it really does not seem to suit Jemima
Mhm.
from how or your playstyle usually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The fate skills are athletics, burglary, contacts, crafts, deceive, drive, empathy, fight, investigate, lore, notice, physique, provoke, rapport, resources, shoot, stealth, and will.
I guess
No
not.
resist or endure. Neither
Yeah.
one.
Neither of
It must
them.
have been a non-core version of Dresden Files.
Although physique, along with all these other verbs, is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so did you pick one? Yeah.
Yes.
So we hit a problem with the next one. I could not see where Ceres was
Uh-oh.
because we never actually went to the board throughout the entire time.
Oh,
I know
no.
Saris and I
She
were
was
usually
there?
hanging out at the same place.
Yeah, I was
For most
I
following.
think
of it.
so.
Yeah.
So I would say just
Okay.
put Saris with me is probably the safest thing. Because we were like, hey,
Um,
it's my buddy, let's go there.
Yep.
You were not in the same zone at the same time during this period either.
Oh. Well, then.
So Ceres was either at Snake River, which is a river, or Rock Creek, which is a plains. I can't recall which
It
it
was at
was.
the river.
Okay.
I
Probably-
seem to recall there being rivers. That I ended at a river, rather. Or
So fortunately, that was the only one I was uncertain of,
well, that's good.
which was pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Interesting. Stanley, you were a fort. Kelsa, you were also at the river.
Cool.
And Dark Lavender Void went to the plains.
Yeah, I don't feel lead. I already have lead? Oh, well, I've got all of these, so...
what's footwork? And how is it different from speed?
Footwork is basically because I hate the word agility.
Okay, but
And-
again, how is it different from speed?
So speed would be, just a raw speed. Footwork would be balance and your ability to maintain distance from somebody in a fight.
Okay.
I think like a sword fight or like any kind of wrestling, it's all about footwork.
And conviction is about the things you believe in.
Correct.
All right. And
Or
temp
other people believe.
about timing. So let's
Timing.
mess around with that.
Okay.
I chose
And
Intimidate because I thought Jemima could be spooky sometimes.
Yeah.
this is the last selection. Okay. Dark Lavender Void went to the plains. Kelsa went to the fort. KingSeras went to the fort. And then Estani also went to the fort. Okay.
I was probably
You were all
stuck at the fort.
fortified.
I was stuck at the fort, I bet. Same options again, so I'll take a third research.
This is when you built your strange structure out in the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Get them wild cards.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think I will go with prove.
Prove's a good one, I think.
I like it.
All right, so you should all have several cards.
A lot.
I have so many cards, it's made a nice little line of white at the bottom of my screen.
I have 12 cards.
Oh man, so you didn't get to 14. Okay, this is fine. This is still fine. So
I mean, if you want us to have 14, you could just give everybody 2 additional wild cards.
yeah, everyone's going to have 2 additional wild cards. But why don't you see what you got first?
Okay.
Make a little pyramid. Let me know if you need more space. I am the master of space.
I was just going to shrink mine down instead of...
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, that's smart.
That
What
was
just
not
happened?
a smart
What happened?
idea.
What happened?
The board is gone.
It just reset.
Unlike
For
in
me.
real life, the
What
board
happened?
disappeared. Oh no, my cards have disappeared.
Everything's
No.
disappeared.
Oh no.
No, hold on.
No, nobody touch anything.
All right, I have moved so the stream doesn't have to see this part because every time I reorient, it snaps back, and I'm like, I don't want to be watching this. You don't want to be watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm going to spawn something. Okay, that was fine. I'm making infinite space for people that want space.
Oh, gosh.
Whoa, that's
Ooh,
bad.
The checkerboard. Oh
That
no,
was
giant
bad.
fake dice.
This is fine. Everything's fine. I don't know why anybody's panicking. Everything is fine.
We were invaded by giant fake dice.
It's not something that happens every day.
Well, thank you
Shrinking
for
these is
spoiling
very
the Adventure Time finale.
Wait, did the Adventure Time finale get spoiled?
Not really.
I believe that was a joke on giant fake dice and checkerboards.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
For a second, I was like, "Wait, did that involve?" Oh, it's a you're not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I have.
I got you.
I have 3 extra ones, so I've set them off to the side. Everything else I'm gonna lock just in case something goes.
In case I press more buttons.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
Yeah, I am this is how I learned about computers. I press buttons and things happened.
We were picking up what you were putting down.
Of course, the higher it is, the better you are at it.
Oh, is that what that means? Okay, I was just
Yes.
putting them in there at random.
All right, I'm gonna fix the order of it because I want my shapeshifting to be up higher, but also I hate this stupid card. I also have 2 that are extra.
Oh, the paled out ones, don't put anything in there.
Oh, okay.
The pale ones?
Yes. The 2 pale ones on the top left should be empty.
Oh, is that it? Okay, there we go.
Okay, then we have too many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we don't need 14.
Yeah, you said don't put anything in the pale ones.
Okay, then I guess you do have too many. Interesting.
Because we already have
cool.
one.
Well, some of us already have one.
This means I didn't make a mistake earlier, which is good.
Okay. All right, so we'll put hide down here.
All right.
Having a problem where my cards are sticking together, just like in real life.
I had.
Oh no.
Too.
Okay, so shape-shifting is going to go up at the top for sure. I'm best
What
at
is
that.
happening?
Ambush and resist are freaking out.
I'm gonna have to retype in my machine telepathy.
I think sense should go up here.
So apparently if I put it into my hand, they stop being stuck together.
Okay.
Do our skills placed in the pyramid affect how powerful they are?
Yes.
Gotcha.
The more slots there are at that height, the less powerful it is.
So higher on the pyramid is more powerful.
Correct. Also, Ceres, because you did not have your strange fill up, you will be picking one of your skills as a strange skill.
Oh, okay.
Which
I want strange
basically makes it really powerful.
I want strange growing powers.
I love
Okay,
it.
that's perfect.
Farmer.
Right. And then I have 2 skills that are that were duplicates. How are you going to do the wild cards for those?
Well,
Same, I've got 3.
If you already have 12 slots
No, I have
filled,
one. I have one that's empty.
All right, then you may pick one. Let me delete all the cards we don't need. All right. Let me put these all into one group. Copy and paste it, because that's always a good idea. Okay, so Kelsa, look over here.
Where?
If the tab button eventually works.
Okay.
You know, you can right click on it and search through it and pick one.
And I need 2, so I'll do that, I guess.
Yeah, I'll give you your own deck.
Yeah,
Hold on.
And let me get rid of my extra cards. I'm just gonna throw them on.
You just delete them.
Oh,
Press the delete
that's
button.
right. That's right. I have powers. I have powers here.
We are as on 2 gods.
Choosing what I want to be my primary skill, the thing I'm best at, is hard. Especially since I was like, no, I want to be a magic grow person.
The magic girl person is calling to you.
Gossip.
I think you should be magical footwork so that you can dance really well.
Who, me?
Challenge everyone to a dance-off.
Yeah. No, just Ceres.
No, I didn't take footwork.
Oh, well, you can't dance then.
I can dance if I want to.
You leave your friends behind.
Well, I could leave my friends behind, because if they don't dance, then they ain't no friends of mine.
Right, I suppose.
I actually think I'm gonna lead first. I mean, to make
Okay.
it smaller. Teenier. All right.
This almost works. It almost works. I think it does prove that I like games with lots of pieces, though.
Yeah.
Does this also break my my rule of good game design, where you're not supposed to have more than a dozen skills? But sometimes you do things you know are wrong.
Because they feel so right.
Yeah.
So do I have a deck to search through?
You get the top one over here.
Oh, okay, thanks. All right, I have 2 things. Let's see what I want. I mean, I know the first thing I want. I have a very strong concept for this character.
Oh, Theo, yes.
Yeah.
Can you give us a hint of your French accent?
Oui, oui.
No.
No!
Do we want to step back?
Hold on, everybody. We are rewinding time.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Let's rewind time some more. All right.
No, my choices.
Okay, we got this.
Oh no.
My
We have a
choices.
time paradox. I can't go backwards and forwards in time. What am I going to do?
All right, what is the other thing I want? Ugh, so hard.
As long as it's real life, so I can put like a 2x4 underneath that.
Yeah.
That would help. Actually, on the first like thing when you ask a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be a carpenter. There's so many things you can do with wood.
I have no idea what to do for my last choice.
I'm trying to decide if I want to switch tempo and footwork so that footwork is better than tempo instead of the other way around.
Well, they're going to change over time, so don't worry about too much.
I think I'll go with endure. He's a young man. He can endure shit. That's the idea.
Yes.
He's a resilient young boy. Well, not boy. He's like 17, but whatever.
I always said endurance was better than resistance.
I also have endure.
Endure sounds good because it's like, yeah, he'll take damage, but he can take a beating. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between sense and empathize?
Senses, physical senses, sensations, taste, touch, sight. You declare things that you see or physically feel.
Gotcha.
Empathize is emotional. You cannot physically prove that feelings exist, but we all agree that they do exist for the sake of polite society.
Mm-hmm.
Then empathize is going at the top of my pyramid, and sense is going kind of in the middle.
Okay.
I dropped my endure card. If anybody can find it.
Usually they go in the middle somewhere.
Or just get me another one.
Yeah. We'll just get another one.
Okay.
Do. There we go.
Where'd you put it? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tabletop Simulator, for being the video game in which I can drop things.
There we go. Now I
It's a feature.
Right.
I mean, it is technically.
Technically.
Okay, I can delete that because I've actually made a card for machine telepathy. Because I had an extra one.
Oh, sweet. Machine
I know.
telepathy. I actually have blank ones.
Well, I just wrote on a card back, so it's fine.
I should do that instead of the card that I have.
What else am I going to do with this redundant grope card?
I already deleted my extra redundant card though.
Mm-hmm.
I have redundant cards somewhere. Because I keep forgetting I'm allowed to delete stuff. Oh yeah, I got my stack right here if you want to use it. Here.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so cute. Wait, I gotta give it rosy cheeks. I love it.
Aww. That's the best skill. Do I have any art skills in this game? Why don't I?
I can invent art
You can. You can invent art.
and then build it.
Okay.
Like,
Yes.
invent will be my creativity skill. Like, I'm
Oh, you
gonna
can use
paint it like this.
empathize to make people feel things about your art.
No, my art's all like gonna be weird physical stuff, and people are just gonna be like, "I understand art. That's profound," but they don't actually get it because it doesn't mean anything.
So people have to endure your art?
Yes.
I see.
So, because I set grow aside for becoming a strange skill, and I had one wild card, I now have 2 skill slots open for wild card skill draw.
Let me just copy this for you. Copy. Let's put it over here. Boop.
So do I just draw until I get something new on the off chance I draw something I already have?
Nope, you can right click on it, or I'm pressing tab, and press search.
Where is it? Where's the deck?
To the left of your character sheet. And up.
Oh.
Oh,
You
yeah,
zoom out.
scroll out. Zoom out.
Oh, okay.
It's on the Death Star up here.
I didn't even see that was there. I started scrolling out and I was like, wait, what?
I said I was making infinite space for you.
I
Okay.
didn't know
Is it
what that
this
meant.
right here of 27 cards?
Yes, those are yours. You right click on that,
Okay.
plus search.
Search. Okay. Oh, what's train?
That's the teaching people skill.
Okay, I don't think I saw anybody get that.
No, nobody got that.
I had the option to, but I'm about learning myself. I don't pass it on.
Well, I guess that makes you a Jedi.
Okay. How do I pull out one train?
You should
Just
just
click on it and drag it to the, where you want to go.
Okay. Oh, it was just number 27? Okay. Bleh. Did that fall all the way down onto the table? No, I think it's floating in the air.
It should.
It's right here. You got it.
I got it? Okay. Boop. Okay, there. I see it landed on my character sheet.
Yes, it did.
Perfect.
Got it.
Fabulous.
All right.
Well, sway is like persuade.
Yes.
Okay. And dropping on my character sheet. Okay. All right. Grab my 2 wow.
Cool.
Am I the
Oh, where
only-
did everyone's milestones go? That's weird.
Oh, can somebody actually see how zoomed in and out I am? Is that a thing?
No.
No.
Okay. I thought you said that you saw I was super zoomed in, and I was like, yeah, I do that.
There is a really creepy feature where people can tell if you're blindfolded or not.
You can what?
You can blindfold yourself.
Oh yeah, well, that's
I did it.
But
just
I've actually,
because
like I said, I've actually been playing like some war games on here, and that's actually really handy, especially if you have to like do stuff with your hand or probably.
Oh, it's useful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's super useful.
I just think it's creepy the way the eyeballs show up.
Oh, there's eyeballs? That's weird.
In the
It
right,
used to be.
there's like an eyeball with like a line through it to show you that they can't see anything.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a UI thing.
Oh, okay.
It's not like eyeballs just suddenly hover in front of you.
Yeah,
and
I was
watching
like,
you.
it's a. I mean, I know this can be a VR
The eye
game.
of
But
someone is
does the
such
void stare
watching
back?
you.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Kind of, it
think
does.
That would be pretty creepy.
Yeah, that would be pretty creepy.
I made my 4 fancy while I was waiting.
Wow, very fancy.
All right. I have gotten all of my skills.
Hooray!
All right.
The way Tabletop Simulator describes it, though, is the most Night Valiant thing I've ever seen. Golden has put on their blindfold and can see nothing. Golden has taken off their blindfold and can see everything.
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 Yeah, it's a little bit. It just creeps me out, okay?
Yeah.
You are entitled to your feelings. No one is
Even
feeling
if
shame
we
here.
can't prove that they exist.
I know, right?
I mean, does anyone have empathy? Someone probably could.
Oh shit.
I think it's just Jemima.
Yeah,
That'd be
I'm not good.
strange for
I'm
sure.
not good with people. Is basically
Wait.
what I've established.
Serious, isn't your grow skill supposed to be one of your 12 skills, but just
It's my-
magic?
Does it? I don't know. I was under the impression that it needed to be set aside as a separate thing.
Oh, sorry, no. It should be in the pyramid somewhere.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't
I'm
have to be at the top.
I'm gonna write magic on it before you move it.
Okay.
Hold
Write
on.
magic on it before.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. What?
We will color tint it.
Oh,
What is your color, sirs?
blue.
Did that work? Of
No.
course not.
I mean, I have a neutral skin tone, so I can wear a lot of different colors.
Just write magic on it. It's fine.
I look good in both cool colors and warm colors.
Alright, I've locked it. I'll see if I can write on it. I don't think I can write on the card face. It's not letting me.
You can
Oh, wait.
if you lock
Oh,
it first.
Yeah, wait, that was white. That's why I couldn't.
Oh, that would explain it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Because I was fixing my 4, I forgot. There we go. Magic.
And because you
Okay.
never had to choose a power source,
Uh-huh.
you can use gears, steam, etheric, or fairy when you're growing.
All right, I'm gonna delete train. Well, I think I just dropped it. Whatever,
It's all
gone.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
I
gone
can
forever.
keep train.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cards in the middle of the table that I think they belong to somebody.
I mean, it's like one of those games. But you know, the best part
If
about
you
Tabletop
hit
Simulator,
H, it'll stop trying to jump in your hand.
we don't have to put the game away when we're done.
That is
Yes.
really nice. That is really nice.
We don't have to spend an hour looking underneath the couch for that one card that got away. And then you have to worry, like, did it go down the heating vents? Nah, it couldn't have went down the heating vent, right?
The dog literally ate that little wooden cube.
Has the cat dragged it away?
Has.
Ah,
Is
my
the
tower.
There, bam.
And then they somehow multiply.
Yeah.
That's the weird part. Like, you lose a piece, like, okay.
But then you have 2.
And you have two. I only have one copy of this game.
I don't understand.
And I'm not missing one.
My word.
No.
Today I learned Golden has a dimensional rift in his living room.
I mean, we must. We must, really. We literally call my room the black hole. Because things just appear in it that go missing, even when they never even should be even near the house.
Yep.
I think you
Interesting.
should see a religious professional about that.
Well, my dad is an ordained priest, apparently, so we should be good. Unless this is actually the scene from The Exorcist.
Yeah, he's not sure, apparently.
Did your dad appear in your room and you never knew him before, except for when he appeared in your room?
No. So far, living human beings have not appeared in my room.
That's good. I'm gonna go with
at
that's
least-
good.
I'm
At least without reasonable explanation.
Okay.
Because, you know, some of his
least-
friends come and visit, and, you know.
Yeah, at least ones that weren't missing.
They theoretically could have gotten there an entirely plausible, non-creepy way, right? I should have questioned them more carefully. All right, are we good with your characters?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
All
so.
right.
Is there anything else we need to do or
Well,
get to do?
not for the characters. I mean, we could So here's the thing: we could like talk about what we want our core aspects to represent in the game.
I mean, that
That's
seems
something we
like a
want to
fun
do.
conversation to have.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because theoretically, like each of these aspects say something about your character, but they also say something about what you want this game to be about. So I would like to have that conversation. Does
Okay.
anybody like have an aspect they're like particularly feel strongly about? I'm gonna take notes.
One of our already existing aspects?
Yes, one of our 4 main aspects that you feel particularly strongly about, like what it represents in the game.
You know, I realized that I have been bitten by the inventing bug, and yet I didn't grab invent
That's true.
or build.
Oops.
User error.
But like theoretically, you want the game to be about that, huh? You want
Sure.
there to be inventing and building.
That sounds interesting. That sort of thing is always really cool.
Yeah.
I generally find most crafting systems in any game more bookkeeping than I care to do. So, I mean,
There's no bookkeeping here.
okay. All right.
Unless you mean like
Well,
naming things.
so since event, but clearly I'm interested in it, this will be a journey of self-discovery through learning to invent things and what that means. Also, I didn't get a strange skill, so
You did. You got magic, girl.
I did, but I'm not invested in any one of the 5 technologies, whatever you're
Right.
calling them, fairy gears, whatever. So clearly I'm a newcomer or an outsider to this.
Ooh, yes.
And have a lot to learn about the weird things, and maybe I will, prefer one over the other as the game goes on. How's that?
Inevitably.
So there we go. That sounds like a cool place to have a character arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And theoretically, each of these things are character arcs, right? And then when you get into fights, you put these up as collateral. So you're putting up character arcs you care about as collateral to win the fights.
Interesting.
Okay.
But I kind of want to just get this thing going, so I don't want to make you guys all think about what each of your aspects means right now.
Well, like, let's do high concept then, so that in Fate terms, that will be my high concept.
Sounds good.
Also, it's the one that's written most like a high concept, so.
True that.
Yeah.
I don't know what a high concept is.
Neither do I.
It's your, have you guys played a Fate game before?
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Golden, do you want to do it? I will explain everything away if you give me the
Sure.
So
So a high concept is like, there's 2 ways to look at it. It's like the really prosaic way, which is, I am an archaeologist. I am a lesbian farmer, that kind of thing. That can be your high concept.
Okay.
It's the thing that defines your character.
And are we picking one of these 4 to be our high concept is the idea?
Yes, basically, yes. Like in this game, like it doesn't really make that distinction, but that's what it is.
Okay.
I think for my character, it's definitely morbidly curious. Like, and I believe we were going to talk about lines and veils a little later, but I'm interested in like solving a murder mystery or something along those lines where maybe death or darkness is involved, but I'm interested and drawn to that. Probably gonna get me into trouble.
Cool.
Getting into trouble is the most fun, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, I picked a cat.
Just don't let your curiosity kill you, okay?
That's not an aspect.
I got at least like 5 more lives.
All right. At least.
I guess for me, it'd probably have to be silversmith as my high concept, just because I'm so focused on the building and the inventing and stuff. So
Cool.
I don't know what that means yet. I just know that I want to do it.
We'll play to find out what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Lavender?
I want to say that I am a religious woman who has seen the light.
Okay, so you want to do investigate religion. So is it your God touched aspect?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think that's good for now. Think about what like your other aspects mean in that sense. But you guys don't want homework, so you guys don't gotta do that. So, but when
Okay.
you're playing the game and you think of what these aspects mean, make a note.
Okay.
All right. So now
mean,
I think.
It's usually I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. We don't have to do it. But opposite your high concept, you have your trouble. In most Fate games, so that's the aspect that you want to engage with as something that's going to cause problems for your character.
I mean, the most obvious one for Fiddlesticks is doesn't kill humans.
Right, and my most obvious one is so wasteful.
Oh yeah.
I mentioned that earlier as being a good concept for trouble.
For sure.
And the thing about designing your troubles when you're making a Fate character is you want it to potentially have an upside. Like, it's supposed to get you in trouble more often than not, but because you can invoke any aspect at any time, and it's not like if it applies, you get the bonus. Your trouble should have some potential application.
Yeah,
in a
but
good
it's
way.
just by noting it as your trouble, it's kind of a I mean, but all of your aspects also could be compelled against you.
Compelled against you, yeah.
Even your high concept, and I think it's the purpose of your trouble is you're kind of signaling that please
mess with me.
Mess with me here. This is
Yep.
where I want you to push my buttons.
Yep.
Then I think my trouble would have to be ticks.
And my trouble is probably needs glasses.
Okay. So, like, what does ticks represent in the game? Like, I can see it doesn't kill humans, right? Like, you want to be in situations where it'd be really convenient to kill somebody, which is basically every situation if you're a psychopath. And you got so wasteful. So basically, that's mean like you want resource management, not like in the bookkeeping sense, but like as a theme.
For ticks, I kind of see that in two ways. One, an audible ticking sound anytime I'm around people. Like, maybe there have been other gear upgrades in my family, and so that could, but mostly I'm also thinking that it's like, how do I word this? It's like this obsession with the gears. It's not just that they tick, it's that like I tick.
Interesting. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. How about needs glasses?
And what's your question that you're wondering about for that?
What theme in the game would be explored with need glasses? What theme would you like to explore through the game?
I'm sort of seeing some symbolism with Jemima where she is like the seer of like light and stuff, but like there's the like this contradiction between like farsightedness versus nearsightedness, and I feel like she's very farsighted and has issues with practicality.
Okay.
Kelsa, you were muted.
I'm actually going to change one of my aspects. I know that I had chosen these before, but I realized that the main thing with unusually blue eyes is it's like a tell when I'm shapeshifting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really care about missing an ear. I don't want it to affect my hearing, and I don't need two tells while shapeshifting. So I'm taking that one off, and I'm gonna replace it with chatty
Okay.
because, like I took gossip earlier, I definitely see Fiddlesticks as being the cat about town, so to speak.
Nice.
In cat form, is he always the cat going meow, meow,
Uh huh.
meow,
Uh huh.
meow?
Uh huh.
You're
Maybe
like,
we
shut
can
up, cat.
use maybe we can use the other two aspects to like link to characters. So why don't you each pick an aspect that would relate to an NPC that's your friend?
I mean, that's obviously chatty for me.
So Chatty, who does Chatty connect to?
Let me go back over and look at all the NPCs. It's been a while since I've
Yeah.
seen them here.
So I actually think I'm going to change my mind about the second aspect that I want to be invested in the story. I think I'm going to change my trouble from so wasteful, which seems really obvious, to strong stomach.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. I can
It's there's a lot of weird social stuff. If you're like, "Are you eating that?" That's rotten. So I'm saying I want my character to be a little bit gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So we've got Winifred, Granny Winnie, the Wise Woman, Witch Doctor, Florence, not her real name, recognizes strange symbols in books and embeds clockwork gears in Marcel's body. Ooh. Ada helped Abigail get food with a Native American friend, but is not well liked. Sarah, the widow, makes a strange drink that burns the poison out of her and leaves something strange behind. That's a front runner. Caravan leader Jane offers the family their excess supplies. Bud went and got help when Jordan broke their leg. Ezra used to be a fairy lord, knew about a magical curse that prevented anything from being repaired. And Jack, a handsome frontiersman, helped get the food back and barked up the wrong tree. Ooh. Those are all really great characters. I think it's Sarah the Widow. I feel like she's gonna be the one with the biggest social circle out of all of these. And also like I could possibly Caravan Leader Jane, but I feel like she's probably gonna leave in the spring. Like, going back and forth is her job. She doesn't just stay here.
Okay.
She wasn't moving here. She was leading the caravan here. That's kind of how I feel about her, but that might change over the winter. We'll see. But anyway, Sarah the Widow is who I'm chatty with.
Okay, Sarah the Widow. And Sarah the Widow seems like she's a front for, yeah, people traveling to Oregon. Or like experienced travelers to Oregon. For people experienced traveling back and forth to Oregon. Sounds good.
Well, no, that's how I feel about Jane, the caravan leader, not Sarah.
Oh. And that's not. So
that's my picture of the
sorry.
caravan leader Jane. Whether it's true or not, that's why I'm not picking her.
Right.
As opposed to why I would pick her. If that makes sense.
But you would pick Sarah because, can you just say it again? Because my brain conflated the two apparently.
Sorry, I was rambling, so I understand. Sarah the Widow, I feel she's got the larger social circle. Like, I feel like she's she's not out there looking for another husband, but so she kind like I feel like other women like trust her.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a male cat, Fiddlesticks may not always have the ear of all of the women, but if he's got Sarah's ear, then he's got an in.
Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, so you want the society of the caravan to be important. Like you're saying you want like social, like just society to be important.
Yeah, I mean like I said, this is off of the characteristic chatty. Like
Right.
I feel like I'm connected to people, and that connection
Through Sarah.
Yeah, through Sarah.
Okay.
Like maybe she's if we wind up doing odd jobs, maybe Sarah is our handler that finds them for us, you know?
Okay.
She's our Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. But like for mundane tasks that you might have on a caravan or when you arrive in a strange place.
All right. So I've done here my blue lines. I've drawn some mystical symbols. Basically, these are how each character relationship is going. And they start off with the person who has the higher number is in a dominant relationship over the person with a lower number, which means basically, they just get to tell the other person what to do and they'll pretty much do it because of their social standing. It's kind of like the alpha dog situation. There's also two other situations you can be in. They can be in rivalry, which means they're fighting each other, or they can be allies, which means they're working harmoniously together. And you can act on character relationships to change the power dynamic between them. And also, I may have them flip over time if I want to drive a story between them.
So are Ada and Sarah enemies?
So hold on, let me just draw this out really quick. It starts off dominant, and then when dominance falls to the other person, the person of lower ranking is in charge. That happens through conflict. So but they're at the same power level, so I can't decide. But I drew it with the conflict symbol. So we're going to say they're in conflict. Sarah and Ada are in conflict.
Okay.
The idea of this is that when the tables flip and the socially dominant person becomes, the person who is no longer in charge has to take orders, that only happens because the rebellion of the weaker person. And then when it goes back to the way it was, is because the weaker person and the stronger person were working together. And then the person with the more social standing eventually uses that to take control again. And this is the cycle of relationships in this game.
Interesting.
Which may or may not have anything to do with reality, depending on if you want to argue about that or not. Think of it like it's just another thing to think about.
Okay.
It's not like I'm saying that's how it actually is.
Everybody else needs to pick a aspect in a person, yeah?
Yeah.
I took all of that time. I'm sorry.
Should go next. I do have an idea if nobody else does.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I am going to link, since I have no idea what else to do with this aspect, I'm going to link Scarred Face with Ezra, because Ezra was involved with the whole situation with the cart breaking. And I feel like if Jemima was maybe taking the reins of the oxen, the wagon losing a wheel probably can easily lead to like falling off, landing into like some badly positioned rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, does your character blame Ezra for their scars, or do they think Ezra is their friend despite the scars?
I think Jemima gets a vibe from Ezra since he was because Ezra is a hermit who used to be a fairy lord who knew about a local magical curse that prevented everything from being repaired. I think Jemima takes Ezra's like not being helpful with repairing the wagon as like a bad omen or like
Okay.
caustic indifference.
Okay. So, like, you just feel like him being around is a bad omen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like it.
Fantastic.
I feel like mine isn't going to be as interesting. Handsome Jack is friends. I had to.
Little did you know, that is one of my favorite video games of all time.
It's pretty great. But Teo and Handsome Jack are friends, and they like books. They both like books. They both read books together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A little book club going on.
Yeah, basically. It might be a weird book club, but yeah, it's book club.
You know.
As you do.
Well, that implies you can both read, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Mine's also not going to be terribly interesting. Also, it wasn't an intentional Handsome Jack reference. I'm just bad at names. I'm gonna link my prosthetic leg with Bud, and I'm just thankful that Bud helped me in my time of need.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I see that
Okay.
Bud is lower on the totem pole than the Fairy Lord, which makes sense because Bud is a dog.
Wow. Do you play fetch with your leg with Bud?
No.
I was just gonna mention that that I didn't know how to read because I'm a cat.
And I can't teach you because I don't have the train skill.
Well, nobody does.
Like
Well,
we're playing Burning Wheel
Yeah.
again.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Of
it
course.
means that I don't have to worry about you reading my books,
True.
but it also means I can't leave you notes to tell you what to do when I'm not there.
I mean, this is a fate game, so you can still read it +0.
That's fair.
If there's anything interesting going on, it's gonna have to roll for it.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's good for now. So what time is it? So we've been going for 2 hours?
Yeah, just about.
Almost 10. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we can go over Lines and Veils, and then we'll call it for tonight.
Okay.
And we'll start in a couple of weeks with actual role-playing.
Yeah.
Kelsa will show up with her character at Oregon City, and we'll decide if she wants to visit Oregon City, which isn't really a city in the 1820s.
Yeah.
It's more like a trading post and
Mm-hmm.
a dock, a tavern, and like the foundation of a church. They haven't gotten around to it yet.
Hey, there's probably a brothel too.
We call them
Probably
saloons.
multiple
Thank you.
brothels.
Saloons. I mean, you gotta get the women there first, right? Or the men into brothels.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sex
I mean,
work
you
was
gotta get them.
incredibly important to the establishment of the Old West.
It was,
very much
but
so.
Very much so.
this is kind of a little bit early for that. So we gotta get the sex workers. Unfortunately, we have to get the sex workers first. What did I do?
Yeah, they have to
You-
make it there.
You moved
like
the
everyone
laptop
else.
Why can't I grab the laptop? Okay, thank
because
you.
I was moving it.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what's going on. So we're going to talk about, since we're talking about sex workers,
Uh-huh.
this is a good time to talk about lines and veils.
It sure is. Let me hold on.
How about that segue?
Yeah.
Hey.
Where'd that laptop go? There we go.
Let me see if I can flatten it out a little bit. It seems to be trying to, how do I rotate it in just perfectly the right way? Is there like a flatten ability in this game? Of
I
course
don't think so.
not. I guess I can always put it down on something flat and hope that helps.
It should.
Oh, hello.
It's not.
Oh,
It's really not
oh
helping.
no.
Can I
Oh,
grab
well,
it now?
Now it's flat.
Is it flat?
Do we just drop the digital iPad off a table?
Yeah.
God bless
Yeah,
you.
but it didn't crack somehow.
I mean, it's only from the table to the floor. I would hope it wouldn't crack.
All right.
Well, we're clearly playing outside, so I guess you're playing fire there.
Okay, let's just throw it in the lake and see what happens.
Yeah. That's quite the experiment, isn't it?
It is. We're breaking new bounds in virtual reality. All right, so let's talk about lines and veils. So they mean different things. Classically, I think they mean lines are things you should not do in the game, and veils are things that are okay as long as we don't dwell on them. The way I'm going to use them is that lines are things that are not true in the world. Like you cannot cross that line. They're just not happening if they're banned in a line. And veils is they might happen, but we're not going to talk about them in the fiction. All right. So I said no gratuitous gore or extreme mutilation as a veil. That's what I'm going to propose as a default veil, for example. Which means, you know, this was a bad time period, especially at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution when there was no safety. You know, we all heard stories about how people just, how even kids will just like, lose limbs or just get drawn into the machines and brutally murdered. Like, I know that happened, but I don't really want to exploit that.
We don't need to see it on screen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want to hear about it either. So that's like the example of like a veil. We all know what happens, but it's just not what the game's about.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between a line and a veil. Whereas I have as a line, the body is sacred. It may not be defiled without player consent. So you were talking earlier about, you know, rape. Well, there you go. You can't get raped. Unless for some reason you consent, which
it could happen.
We should probably talk about it.
I mean,
but
at that point, you'd
that's
be
why it's a
consenting
line.
out of character to be like, I'm okay with this happening to my character.
Exactly. And it can't happen without, you know, that enthusiastic consent by the player.
Mm-hmm.
The other line I suggest as the default for this game is the right to dignity. No human, past or future, living or dead, will be presented as lacking human rights or functions, though they may be violated. So, if someone, this is like, hey, you know, all those fictions where black people are represented as subhuman? No, that's not. There's this rule right here. It says anybody, no matter who they are or how they look, they have all those basic human functions in this game, and in reality, as far as I'm concerned. But that's the rule of the game.
So basically, like if someone wanted to interact with racism, you could encounter a person who is racist, but the institution itself is not. Like you're basically saying there's no racism, so like the United States government of this world isn't racist, but you might come across.
No. I'm saying that they are racist, but they're wrong.
Well, okay, we already knew that.
Right.
Yeah, that's all this is saying. This is all this is saying.
I think basically what this is saying is that sometimes people justify things like slavery by implying that those people who were in a position of slave were less than human.
Right.
And that is not the fact. That is not accurate.
That's not accurate.
They are
is what this is saying.
Full human beings, and if we're going to discuss slavery, then we need to also acknowledge their thoughts and feelings on being a slave.
Gotcha. I'm with you now.
Okay. And that's where I'm drawing the line, because if I tried this, I spent probably a month on just this one question: where do I draw the line in slavery?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I decided I should put the line by default. Of course, we could move the lines where we want. If some of you feel like these are too limiting or not limiting enough, this is why they go in the rules of the game, so that we can figure out that question.
Good. Yes. Good.
Okay.
Cool.
So anybody like to move any of these lines or veils?
I think they're pretty good, actually.
Those are pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's generally where I like to stand on things. So, on things, stand with things.
I think we get you.
I'm very tall. I don't need to stand on things.
You can just lean against them. They tend to move where you want.
Mm-hmm.
So does anybody want to add a line or a veil?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I do not want to replicate a ton of colonialist stuff, especially against Native Americans.
Okay, would this be a line or a veil?
I think it's a line.
Is it on player action or on the thing happening at all?
I think it's on the thing happening at all. I think since we're making a fantasy version of the Oregon Trail, it's within our power to not follow along in the examples of the past.
All right. So you want to say that the crimes won't repeat, and the Native peoples of America will, retain their sovereignty?
Yeah, I think it's more like we have to parse how we divide up land in a different way than we do in the real world. Like, we don't give them reservations because that implies we've taken their land from them and given it back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's actually something that I totally want built into the game. I do want them to suffer initial dispossession of lands because they got driven from the the eastern areas into the west, because historically that happened, and that's one of the worst things, in my opinion, that America has done.
Agreed.
We've done a lot of bad things.
Are we okay with that initial dispossession of land happening? And then now that we're actually In the West, it's not. It stops. Or do you want to play in a world where like maybe native tribes still own land in the original 13 colonies?
That could be really interesting.
I like that because I
Okay.
think it puts them in more of a position of power.
Hmm.
Okay. So native peoples retain their sovereignty and their lands. I guess ancestral. Well, I don't know. Their lands in the east and have political rights and power. And let's just say political rights and representation.
Yeah. I also think
I
it
can-
creates more of a necessity for the Oregon Trail to exist because we want more space for ourselves as well. And if they have, without question, a bunch of land in the east, then we just need to move west to have some land for ourselves.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like the thing is that that land was up for grabs because we had already done horrible, horrible things.
Right.
So like, you know, it kind of like makes it impossible unless
Let's just
You're
attribute
saying
that all to
that-
natural disaster. Well, as long as we're rewriting history. No, because
do we want to like make like Western expansion like something that's done through negotiation and trade?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
we're reimagining history in a more positive light, then why not?
Okay. Okay, it's really going to change how Oregon City gets developed. Cool.
I picture like half of maybe Oregon City is not as sparse as you initially described. Maybe there is like an entire um, settlement of Native Americans there who are like getting in on the ground floor of trade through a port.
Mm. Yeah, I have to do some research about that because historically, like the Dutch and the Native Americans had good trade relationships, right? So it feels like, at least to me, that there should be some kind of Native American presence in or near Oregon City. I'll have to do some research. I wonder how much of that of my research will like not be too tainted by, you know, whitewashing and everything. Well,
Probably all of it.
probably all of it, but
Yeah.
I'll try and find something. And we can always just say that, yeah, Oregon City grew out of an already existing settlement. Hey, you know what? You guys have ways to declare that in game when we get there.
Nice.
All right, anybody else have a line or a veil they want to add?
I think I have a veil.
Sure.
This is my first time doing lines and veils, so feel free to talk about it with me if it doesn't make sense. But as I'm playing a half black character, I don't want, like, obviously racism I think exists because that's like part of my motivation for my family traveling west, and I'm fine with slavery existing in America and whatever, but I don't necessarily want overt racism to be the focus of my conflict playing this character, if that makes sense.
Sure. Like you don't want it to overshadow every other thing that happens.
Yeah, like I'd like that to take the back seat. There can be some racism, but that's why it's a veil and not a line. I
Yes.
think,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Racism as a primary antagonist.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, this is kind of hard, right? Because these are things that it's really hard to talk about. So
Yeah.
please understand, I'm trying to figure out how to do this from like a GM standpoint, and not because I'm trying to like say that's dumb or anything. That's not what's going on. All right. Any other lines or veils?
I mean, I think everybody covered a lot of things that I
Yeah.
would want to go over. Like y'all already had the good ideas.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty solid with these.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm good.
All right.
Are we? And I assume is this something we can revisit if something comes up and you're like, whoa, I'm
Yes.
actually not okay with that. Can we put a veil on that, or can we put a
So-
line there?
Whenever you do you know how compels work in Fate?
Kinda.
So in Fate you have aspects, all right?
Mhm.
And one of the ways a GM makes things happen is for him to offer you a fate point if something complicates your character's life because of an aspect they have. First off, in this game, you can continue to resist compels even if it will bring you below 0 fate points. But one of the ways you can resist a compel is because you want to player veto that. And when you resist a compel in that way, you immediately spend that fate point, and you get to add a line or veil, and then that triggers us to have a discussion about if the lines and veils are working for us at the end of the session.
Okay. Sounds good.
And of course, at the end of the session, if somebody wants to just say, "Hey, I'd like to talk about lines and veils,"
Yeah.
then we'll do that. The way I'm thinking it works is that anybody can add a line or veil, but they can only be removed unanimously.
That totally makes sense. Yeah.
And like during the game there won't be discussion about it, but I think there does need to be discussion about it, just because my like stance on role-playing games is that open communication is necessary.
Sure.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to note a thing that is normally a veil for me, but isn't right now because of some media I've been absorbing that has made me better at dealing with it.
Sure.
Normally, I mention as a veil in character arguing and like bickering and that sort of thing, because like dealing with people saying like really mean and rude things is sometimes hard for me to deal with. So we'll just put this on like a thing to watch out for to see if it gets bad. But
okay.
Right now I've been absorbing a lot of media where a lot of people are bickering a lot. And I feel like I'm getting better at dealing with that. So
okay.
Which is neat.
Like we couldn't even just make a campaign aspect like everyone gets along, and then you can invoke that or compel that on other people, and then you have like a way to moderate it without like making it a strict rule, right? Because I respect where you're coming from. At the same time, like I'm a very person that enjoys player versus player conflict.
Agreed.
So like I think that's something I would like to see moderated by an aspect instead of being a line or veil. So let's have a new category of stuff. I didn't think about this. Just plain old game aspects. Everyone gets along. And I'm not a believer in aspects are always true. So maybe everyone doesn't always get along, but it's there as an aspect when you need to engage mechanics with it.
That's interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, like I really like how Fate lets you mechanize things, just to create like more communication between players. And it's what like I really like Fate and applying it to a crunchy game because I feel like we're missing out. Like gaming is missing out on applying Fate's language tools to crunchy games. So there you go.
All right.
All right. So let's see. What time is it? It is 9:15, at least on my clock. So yeah, I think this is a good time for us to wrap up.
A little bit short.
I said next time we'll get to Orjon.
We've actually got our characters for sure finished now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we can get
that's
to the
good.
good stuff. I mean, the better stuff, the role playing stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow? I'm
Ooh.
ready to play this tomorrow.
2
Yeah.
weeks.
2 weeks.
I have to work overtime tomorrow. 3 more hours of overtime, and
Oh
then
my goodness.
I get to sleep for 6 hours, and have 3 more hours of overtime Saturday morning.
Oh my goodness. It's so much work.
Yeah,
Too much.
apparently, yeah, it's just a little bit too much work.
Just take care of yourself. I worry about you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm gonna take care of myself. I'll get my sleep. That's one other reason I want to end early, is because I want to have enough sleep for tomorrow.
Okay.
So
That's
Totally
reasonable.
fair.
That is very reasonable. Well,
and
yeah.
I remained sane throughout most of this, which is great.
You did good.
All right. Well, let's do some shout outs. Let's go in the reverse order from last time. So starting with Golden.
Hey everybody, like I said before, you can pretty much find me at work or in my bed. I will also be on the internet briefly Sunday night. I'm going to run Danger Patrol, which is my favorite game by the creator of Blaze in the Dark. So if you have not had a chance to play Danger Patrol and think John Harper is the best thing ever, you should come watch that game. Danger Patrol is kind of like a retro space action hero game.
That sounds fun.
It's really cool.
Fun.
It's going to be really cool. And normally we play Stars Without Number, but our GM is at a convention in Calgary that apparently has been going on for 40 years.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Look at
pretty
them
good.
going to Canadian Gen Con.
I didn't realize there was a Canadian Gen Con,
I didn't know there
but
was a Canadian Gen Con either.
But
it's in Calgary, guys. Check it out.
All right. Awesome. KingSeras, how about you? Where can people find you? I heard something about a podcast earlier.
Yeah, I have a podcast. I release every other Monday with my friend Ray. It is called Bonus Experience. You can find us at our brand new domain, bxpcast.com. You can follow it on Twitter at Bonus Experience. At bxpcast on Twitter. Whew, it's been a long day.
Mhm.
Follow me at Zenith Sun, and BXP is a show about running, writing, designing games. I'm gonna go to bed after this.
Same though. Same.
Yeah. I spent all my energy being charming through this whole thing, and now I'm like, who am I?
Awesome.
Yep.
All
Oh,
right.
that's so cute.
Lavender.
Hi, I'm Cute. You can find me
Yeah.
at Cute on Twitter.
You are cute, though.
Thank you. But for real, you can find me at Dark Lavender Void on Twitter, which is a much more morbid name, but I'm also cute.
I like it. You can be cute and morbid at the same time.
Absolutely. I mean, cats are cute and morbid.
I was gonna say, plus that's like the entirety of goth aesthetic right there.
I was just gonna be like, cute and morbid is the requirement for being a goth, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm a
Cats are
pastel goth.
I would believe that.
Mhm.
That sounds right, actually.
Yeah, that's me.
Anastani, where can people find you?
Hi, I'm Estani. When I'm not here being a weirdo, I'm on my own Twitch channel being weirdo. So you can find me at twitch.tv/Estani. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Estani. I have a store now.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
Do you have the phone? That's my phone case I designed.
It's so, I love it so much.
It's really pretty.
That looks
really
amazing.
pretty.
Yeah, I have phone cases, I have art prints, I have t-shirts, I have stickers, I have duvets and pillows. So
Do you have one for non-standard phones?
I don't, but I have stickers.
You've never heard of this brand?
I have not, but I have iPhone cases and Samsung cases, and I think that's it, unfortunately.
Nope.
Sorry, but I do have stickers. You can get stickers and stick them on your phone case. So yeah, I just launched a store. I've sold 8 items, so that's super exciting.
I bought it so fast.
How long has it been open?
A little over a week.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited that people want to buy stuff and that they like this stuff. I also have a Patreon, so if you like my art but you don't want to buy stuff, you can check out my Patreon and get digital rewards. So that's me.
Yeah, it is.
Patreon.com/Estani. It's Estani everywhere. Just like type it into Google, you'll find me.
You're so much better at branding than me.
Speaking of,
hi everybody, I'm Kelsa. This is my channel. You can find me at Kelsa on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It's Kelsa Delphi. That's also where I'm on Instagram, and you can see adorable pictures of my dog. That's the most important part. I know y'all just want to see my dog. But yeah, I'm streaming in addition to every other week with Almost to Oregon. We're on a slight hiatus, but I am over on Actual Play playing Lavender's game of Mortally Bankrupt. That game is amazing and crazy, and I love it. And on Mondays, I play Cancol over with AP Gaming Real. It's a very silly game about being a anime ship girl. And
that sounds fun.
That makes about as much sense as you think it does. Yeah. So thank you all for coming out, and have a great night. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.